Hey, how's it going? It's the game, dude. Yeah, sorry for the long delayed videos I've been going through a lot of personal stuff going on lately. Meaning switching jobs and everything. But right now I'm very stable. Right now it's pretty good. So I decided to make this video while I'm at it. I originally wanted to make it for January as a New Year's thing, but since a lot has changed in the past 2 years since I made that video, which man, 2 years. Felt like it was last year I started making the first one, but things happen and things change. And speaking of which, I'm making a redux on my video and game collection. As you can see, anyone who saw my videos, my first video, know that I don't have less than I have now. And of course, like I said, I all went through the whole thing, because like I said, due to the whole job thing I've been going through, I have just sold a lot of DVDs and Blu-rays. Only sending on movies I don't have, and even the ones I finally made some money now. I either on a better collection or bought in a better Blu-ray thing or in a collection. Some movies, so as you can see, it's not as big as it used to be anymore. The collection's not as big because, like I said, I stopped collecting DVDs for a bit. I'm just saying I stopped collecting DVDs in general. I still collect some DVDs, but I only use that exception either for movies that didn't get a Blu-ray release or say the DVD has more special features than the Blu-ray does, which is, as you can see, some of them for you on the bottom, which you'll see in a bit. So yeah, let's get started. As you can see, I bought some. I have less Christmas movies than I did before, but as you can see, I still have the same ones. Got this famous Peanuts collection, which is more holidays, but like it for the way it is. And I've been trying to get it on Blu-ray. I had it on DVD, but I sold it, which is sad because the only good thing that DVD was the difference between this and the DVD was it came with a CD full of the Peanuts music, which sadly I lost because I was playing in a car one day and sadly the car got into a wreck or something like that. I wasn't in the wreck, but it was caused by a wreck, and the car had to be scrapped. The only thing I did, it's just in general, I just forgot. It wasn't until it was long, like no more a few months ago after that happened, I realized that the CD was gone. So it was it's kind of sad, but it's okay. But like I said, I got the Blu-rays better. It doesn't have the CD stuff. It has the same features really, but it's better quality and everything like that. It's pretty good. Have this one. I think I still showed this last time. Even if I didn't, then yeah, it's pretty much the same thing over. Like I said, some of these you'll also be short about it because some of them I still kept, but I didn't keep all of them. I only kept a few that I had in general, but like see, still have the two Grinches movies from last time. I think I showed this last time. Had this one. This one's kind of technically new. It's different from the other Blu-ray I showed you last time because it's actually four movie packs and everything. And as you can tell, this is the bulkiest Blu-ray I've ever seen. And as you can see, kind of difficult and everything. As you can see, it's very thicker and everything than any other Blu-ray. Very underrated movie this movie is. This is, to me, like the best Christmas Carol adaptation than all the other ones. That includes the Mickey one, Muppets. That was actually made by Disney themselves. It's pretty good. Hope people realize that it's a pretty good movie, better than, like I say, more faithful and everything. Only complaint is I wish they would have cut some of the things from, like the whole running thing when he was trying to escape from the Ghost of Christmas Future, or Death, as we all know who it is. Aside from that, it's different box and everything, but it's the same as the past Blu-ray I showed last time, but, it looks better. It has holographic, if you can tell by it. And of course, like I said, bulkier and everything. That's it. No difference. I think I may have showed this last time, but it's another Christmas classic movie. This one's a bit more special because you can see right here, it includes a colorized and a black and white version. Everything it has the Paramount logo because they since bought the rights from this film after about since the 50s, I think, or I could be wrong. But after that, after the thing went fell through, RKO went bankrupt. It's been like Paramount bought it, and it's a good thing. It's a good thing they did because, like I said, this is like the best version I've seen. Sure, it only comes with one special feature, one documentary, but aside from that, pretty good. Especially, it looks good on black and white. And looks good better in color. And of course, if you notice, I have the Blu-ray version of this DVD. Remember, if you remember back in my videos, I had the DVD version of it. And like I said, that was one of the films I actually had to sell off. But when I learned there was actually a Blu-ray version of this one, I decided to get it because, like I said, and if you're wondering, there's no difference between the DVD and Blu-ray aside from a menu difference. But aside from that, it's the same as the DVD one. Very cheap to find, cheap to get. Of course, I had the Blu-ray one. Of course, if you notice, it's different than the one I had last time because, like I said, I bought it and everything. But like I said, unlike the Home Alone, which had a lot of Blu-rays, these ones don't. So it doesn't matter if you get the DVD or Blu-rays. You're just not gonna get a difference aside from quality, sound, and picture. Like I said, colors. Well, But I got this new movie, The Christmas Vacation. I finally got actually during December because I actually like this movie almost as much as the normal vacation one. So and a Christmas classic I have in my hands, and of course another new one I have the movie Krampus, a movie that you should definitely buy. And if you're wondering if I like this one or the naughty cut, well, technically there is no difference between the theatrical and the naughty cut because anybody who has the naughty cut could tell you that all they did was they put the deleted scenes back into the film, along with one extra scene that was extended. But aside from that, there's no difference between the naughty cut and this one, like at all. So in reality, I probably won't get the naughty cut unless, of course, I find it for a low price, like this one I bought for $5. So hopefully, if I find the naughty cut is under say 15, then yeah, you'll probably see me with the naughty cut, but only because of collecting reasons and of course it's a steel book, but But aside from that, it's not really much difference. But if you ever questioning why did I do this and everything like in the selling the first because it mainly had to do with space, but also the fact that I decided to make last month made that resolution that people failed. But this one I'm actually keeping, and thankfully managed to keep, which is that I'm not gonna no longer keep movies or buy like just shit that pretty much that I'm gonna just watch once and then never touch again, because it's happened. That's why most of the DVDs are gone, obviously. So I've decided to basically buy only movies that I'm certain to watch, which is why you see new movies, but you see most of them are gone. And the new ones I have gotten are things I watch, not on a daily basis, but more than once, pretty much. And it was a good thing money wise too, because like I said, because yeah, sure, I'm stable now, but back then I was like, buying things left and right, almost going broke many times. My paycheck wasn't as solid as it was back then, and everything. But thanks to some, looking around and everything, I finally found a good thing. So you're probably gonna see less DVDs from my collection if we keep making videos like this. But at the same time, you might see new ones. And if I did get new ones, I'll probably just buy that one thing because it'll be either be expensive or like I said, because last year, let's just say I was on it was like an all year spending spree. Like I was literally getting packages almost every month, in fact, not bi-weekly. And that should tell you how much I was wasting money on. So I decided just to stop that. And thankfully I did. So now I haven't gotten any packages, like I said, for the next 2 months ever since January. And the ones that are coming are movies or games that I am gonna spend time with because, like I said, thanks to this job and everything, I have so much now free time on my hands. I'm now finishing games and watching movies now. So yeah. So hey, lucky me. But going back to that, of course, there's another movie I kept holes, on DVD and everything with this weird aspect, which looks like it came from a VHS with this back art still. If you're wondering why I don't have a Blu-ray of this, well, I used to think there wasn't a Blu-ray, but it turns out there was. But sadly, it's not worth my time because it's one of those exclusive Disney Club things, and anybody knows about those things in the past knows that those things were pretty much expensive to get because, especially this one, because for some reason they take this movie and put it into a vault almost every time, and there is little to no Blu-ray release because of that. And I keep finding them, but they're over for $50 or more just for this, and the only difference between the Blu-ray and the DVD is little to nothing except for just 2 new bonus features. But aside from that, no difference. So I recommend just getting the DVD, which hopefully, I remember you have to get a widescreen because we all of us have HD TVs nowadays. That if you get full screen, it kind of looks weird and everything. So yeah, no difference. Same movie I still have. And I think I had this last time I just showed you guys, but in case you didn't, It's almost like the Christmas Carol one, where it's a bit more bulkier and everything. It has more bonus features, and as you can see, it has way more than usual because, and even from the first one, it has exclusive ones, more new ones. But aside from that, yeah, my favorite movie. And as you notice, my Disney/Pixar movies got shorter. It's because, like I said, going back to what I said, I didn't watch them all the time, and admittedly, they weren't. Some of them weren't my favorite, but some of them were, and the ones that were my favorite, even were my favorite, like I said, only watched once. I only count this movie and, of course, the next one you'll see in Ratatouille because, I love Brad Bird's movies, so these were the exception. So, just, kept those. The one thing I actually do regret getting rid of was the three Kung Fu Panda movies I showed you in my last video. So I got a collection. Yeah, I'm starting to collect Blu-ray collections now because it'll be easier that way. Sorry, but anyway, it's a lot easier for me. It saves more space and everything, especially if I plan to get more movies that I plan to either keep. So this one was easier and everything. And yeah, I love the Kung Fu Panda. We're in a Shrek. That's why you don't see the Shrek movie here. I since gave that away too. Like I said, I got decent monies for all the things I sold off. And of course, this one is, of course, the Holy Grail Blu-rays. And anybody who knows about this knows that we're probably saying how lucky I am right now, because anybody who knows about this Blu-ray knows what's the most rarest Blu-ray from a Looney Tunes movie I've ever seen. Whereas Space Jam keeps getting re-released after re-release from Blu-rays, steelbooks, and yada yada yada. Back in Action didn't barely had any. In fact, this was from 2015, if I'm not wrong. And since then, never got any got re-released at all. And there's a reason this thing cost $50 because of that. And let's just tell you, as much as I love the movie, I wouldn't pay $50 for this, like, at all. But thankfully, I watched the movie a lot, so I wouldn't say I wasted my money on this. But like I said, I bought this last year doing that spending thing I told you about. And like I said, as you see, the only thing new to the Blu-ray as compared to the DVD is only, like, you see this, where it says, yeah, this weird featurette, but aside from that, everything is from the DVD, so there's no difference. The most rarest movie I had, it's just like, you can understand why I made that resolution and everything, because, it's because of things like this. Yeah. But aside from that, we can go to the next genre, which is mostly horror or thriller in this section. As you can see, not much of the collection has changed. I can see I still have my M. Night Shyamalan Vista series DVDs, and like I said, going back to what I said, these are only DVDs, and I have never made a Blu-ray change too, because I'm pretty sure it would look better on Blu-ray. But I've checked to see, and most of the Blu-rays from the regular release of these movies don't have these special features you see right here of all these, featurettes and everything like that. Same thing with the other one back here. I heard the Blu-rays don't have that much, or they took it off because of either copyright or something else, mostly like that. So yeah, these are ones you should really get. They're not that expensive to find. They're not that rare either. It's just something to think about if you want to think about getting the movies with the most features, especially when it's Shyamalan. But yeah, still have these. This one I think I showed you guys last time, but I think I didn't show you this. But it's the same thing. But I had this before I started making my channel and everything. And if you didn't see it the last time, because either I sold it away or I didn't, or maybe lost it. But it turns out no, I had it. It turns out no, I found it was like under my bed for like a year or so, and I didn't notice until I actually looked down. And yeah, thankfully I cleaned out some of the dust. It looks pretty good. So it looks the same when I bought it online on eBay years ago. And yeah, it's a sequel to the Unbreakable one. So like I said, it's still a downer of a movie because pumping up this movie for so many years and everything, and it ended up being like the way it is, and still sad, and it is really sad, especially for Bruce Willis, and everything, like. I mean, yeah, he's not dead, but it's still like when I heard about what happened to him now lately, now he's in a hospital, no longer even able to speak anymore. Probably lost all of his memories now. It's just like it's sad and everything. And to think this movie was technically his last major release movie, and that says a lot. And some people can call it poetic in a way because if you think about it, Unbreakable was technically his first movie into the 21st century, made it in the year 2000, and it was the first time you ever saw, a bald Bruce Willis because of that. I shaved his head off, and he's since done that ever since. But yeah, it's pretty much. I guess you could say poetic. His first film of the 21st century, and then of course his last film from the 21st century. Because I mean, yeah, sure. People said that he technically made directed videos, but those are garbage. Regardless of the circumstance, especially when he later said that when we later found out he did it because he needed to secure his family money. Even knowing that, it still doesn't excuse the horribleness of of those horrible directed DVDs. Like I forgot their names because they're so forgettable. But it goes to show you and everything. But yeah, that's made by drawn by Alex Ross. Very very great artist, comic book artist. I mean how he draws and everything's very good, very good. This is a new one I actually have. Creep Show. I've been trying to find this thing for years, especially this one. Okay, by Shout Factory, i.e. Scream Factory. Finally found it over so many years I think from a video store. It's so retro and new stuff. It was like $30 for this, which you might say is expensive, but it's better price than what the other ones were going on eBay, which is like 50 or higher, everything like that. But yeah, love this movie, and that's when I first found out about George Romero and everything, and when I love Stephen King movies. Like I said, if you can find this under $30 or under how much I cheaped it, go buy it. Pretty good steel book and everything. It has a booklet right here. The movie along with this great Blu-ray, which you can tell if you think it looks like this, but it's also backwards art and everything. So when I switched it to it, it could look like something you came from the '50s, which I think is a cool design. I still don't have the second one made by Arrow Video, which I think I want to get, but I'm debating whether to get it or not because I'm not saying I didn't like the third movie, but it's like the second movie is because I heard it's a bit more expensive, especially when it has that out of print comic where it showed comics of the tales and everything. One of them was deleted about a bowling alley or something like that. But who knows? If I find it, I'll find it. Yeah, pretty good movie. Another one as I have is from Christine. If she, like I said, if my last video showed it, then it was a DVD. I since traded, like I said, sold it off, traded it in for whatever money and everything like that. But I managed to find this one for $10. And if you're asking what's the difference between this one and DVD, absolutely nothing. The only reason I got it for it because, like I said, I started wanted to buy some of the movies back, but not on DVD. This was one of them. As you can see, it has this cool looking design. It looks like the front looks like an advertisement for one of those movies, like those cars you see back in the '50s advertising a car with this design. And I like the way, especially when it shows how the car looks like at the end of the fight, looking like it has teeth and everything. It looks pretty cool. But as you can tell from the features, it's the same as the DVDs. Probably looks better, but but aside from that, it's nothing different. When you open it, it has this weird where it's white for some reason. And I always looked very generic and everything, but that's the way it came in. As even this right here is art, I think for Artie, I think that's the way it's there. Aside from that, nothing different between the DVD and Blu-ray, but I recommend getting the Blu-ray. If not this one, then just get a regular Blu-ray. It's the same, really. I still have The Shining, as you can see. I still recommend getting the Steelbook one because it's pretty cool, looks pretty nice and everything. Very simplistic, and it works that way. Again, after looking up 4Ks and everything, it has the same features, barely any, like very bare bones. But that's pretty much every Stanley Kubrick Blu-ray thing is very bare bones. He doesn't like showing bonus features and everything like that, so that's weird. Again, same with Doctor Sleep. Still had the same Blu-ray. I didn't show it the first time because I don't think I had it. But if I did have it during the video, because like I said, it's been a while since I've seen the video. That's why I'm freeballing it right now. I don't know which one I showed, which one I didn't. So still have this one. Pretty good movie. You should pretty much still buy it if you can find it, especially when it has the director's cut. It's only on Blu-ray, and yeah, get it. Pretty good. This one I actually have is new in our collection. Is of course the Final Destination. Yeah, it's kind of generic looking if it's in the back, but don't worry, I've checked. Each Blu-ray has still the same special features from the DVDs. So if you're ever wondering if it has the same bonus feature, it does. So it does. So you don't have to worry about that. But yeah, I got it because ever since Bloodlights came, I wasn't fortunate to see any theaters because like I said, I had money troubles. I couldn't even afford a simple movie theater ticket. But I decided to get to it so I can see all the films and along with get Bloodlines whenever I find it on Blu-ray. Like I said, wasn't fortunate to buy it either on Blu-ray either because of the same reasons, like I said. So if I can find it in any other secondhand store, I'll get it. But yeah, Nice collection. Nice. They're using the one from part four from the poster. I would have liked it better if they used the part five one because that one had a lot of things sticking on the skull. But this one's fine as well. It's fine. This one from comedy. As you can see, my comedy selection went very, 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 very smaller. But that's only because, like I said, most of them went to the Blu-ray right over here, which I'll also show you because also got things over there too. But those are in collections over there in the bookcase, so I'll show you that later. Those are just stand one-off movies that you got. I think I showed this the first time, but I still have this movie. It's still good. Like I said, no Blu-ray ever came of it. And like I said, with holes, get the widescreen one and everything like that. It's a pretty good movie. And now since Disney bought Fox off and everything like that, I just hope that who knows, maybe somebody at 20th Century makes it into a Blu-ray. Unless of course Disney said no. And yeah, has Robert Duvall in it. May he rest in peace. I just learned about his death like 2 days ago. Pretty sad, but like I said, one of my favorite movies, especially the smart comedy, clever comedy. This one I found found also on DVD. As of course, this is the famous Kung Pao movie, very funny one from Steve Odekirk and everything like that. And like I said, no Blu-ray because of course there was no Blu-ray because it's also made by Fox too. So they're very, very, very poor when it comes to handling their Blu-rays and everything, especially when if it isn't Star Wars and everything like that. So yeah, there's this one. It's called the Chosen Edition because if you look at the VHS, it doesn't have the bonus feature. It has, of course, it doesn't because of VHS. But DVD has these bonus features and everything, so that's worth something. And you don't have to worry about a rarity because I think I bought this for $8. It's very worth the price for $8. But I don't think you were able to find this at any secondhand video store or anything because I tried and it wasn't there. Pretty good movie though. This one was, of course, a David Zucker movie. As you can see, it's not one of his good ones. Well, it's not. Well, it's any. Well, technically, it's more funnier than Scary Movie 3 or 4. But that's in my opinion. But this one's pretty good. Plan to get the other one he made along with the Abram and the other Zucker, which was Ruthless People, that original movie. Like I said, that one's not hard to find here. This one I got for $5 at most, so very good. And I think the one I'm also getting, like I said, the People one is I think it's $8 online, so hopefully I can get it soon. For it's funnier. I have this one. I still have it after so many years. Still like the film and everything. Very underrated and everything. I never saw the show on Netflix because I don't plan to and everything. Because I'm not a fan of the comic and everything. Well, by that I mean I never read it, and I don't plan to really because especially how long it is and everything like that. Which what do you expect from 7 boyfriends that took place during the span of 7 years? And I'm not kidding, 7 years. Comic takes place in and everything like that. So I don't have the video games either, but who knows? But great movie by Edgar Wright and everything. It's very sad that Edgar Wright has not been releasing any good movies. Because I tried seeing Running Man, and man, it did not feel like Edgar Wright. But anyway, that's my opinion. But I do have this new Cornetto trilogy. As you can see, like I said, the other Blu-rays that were separately are gone now. Because like I said, sold it off. But I managed to get the Cornetto collection. That's what it's called. Yeah, right here. The ultimate 3 flavors Cornetto trilogy. Green, blue, and red. I recommend getting this because it's better that way because you get all the 3 movies from Sean, The Fuzz, The World's End, and everything like that. And it's not that different from the Blu-rays, especially from The World's End. It's the same Blu-ray as the one that was released separately. I don't know, but Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead are different because they were released before the Blu-rays took off. Like from Shaun, it was everything different. It was its own thing. So it was Hot Fuzz and everything. But it's pretty good. I mean, you will notice some missing features from Shaun of the Dead because I tried finding that one feature where it showed the comics and everything, showing what happened to their fates and everything after the movie. And I don't think it was on Blu-ray. Of course, maybe I wasn't looking hard enough, but it wasn't there. So it's not in the Blu-ray. But like I said, you can always just look it up online, and it shows you. But aside from that, it has the same features and everything from the Blu-rays and everything from the past. So pretty good. Like I said, I recommend it. As you can see, this one's a new one from Rob Reiner. Of course, may he also rest in peace and everything. This is one of the movies I own from him. I'm planning to get more, but it's gonna take a while for that one. I still, like I said, it still might take a while. But this is one of the first ones I bought for my birthday last year, which was in October. It was a 4K and Blu-ray release of This Is Spinal Tap. And the reason why I got it on this one because it's better than getting the Citrion collection on DVD, which is expensively, rarely, stupidly rare. Like more expensive than this one. And this one was like $50 because, like I said, it was a 4K and Blu-ray release. Whereas if you just get the average Blu-ray, it would probably be 30 at most. But I got this one because I like the cool design. It was in a sleeve. It has this cool looking design right here. This is the 4K one. Has a great manual. It looks like it came from the 80s, along with the Blu-ray and the special features one, which I still don't get. Like, it's Blu-ray. Why don't you just put it in the same disc? Because I thought was the whole point of Blu-ray is that having the special features from the DVD. It's like, one disc, but But hey, this one was made and everything, approved by Rob Reiner and everything. So I recommend this instead of just getting shilling money out for the DVD release and everything like that. Because, like I said, I've been waiting for this ever since it was announced, and thankfully I found it, got it. Pretty good. I recommend it. But like I said, if you don't want to waste much on the 4K one, just get the average Blu-ray. It's only $30 online at most. Pretty good movie, funny movie. That's when I first started liking the idea of mockumentary films, and hopefully I'll get into the other ones that are made, which was. I also saw the sequel, but I didn't see the Blu-ray of it. Maybe it's out there, but I wasn't looking. But I'll probably find that too when it comes out. Again, good sequel too. Like it. I also plan on seeing other mockumentaries like The Office and everything that inspire me by this. That will come with time and wait and patience and money. Speaking of which, this is a new one. If you remember back in my other video, I had the postal Blu-ray, but if you noticed, it's not there either. Like I said, I sold it off, and along with that PC game it came with. And normally that would hurt me, but it didn't hurt me that much because now I have Steam and everything, so it's fine now and everything. But it was pretty. Like I said, it was a pretty good experience to play the game how it originally was made back in 2003 on an authentic disc rather than playing online and everything like that. But that was still a cool experience. But I decided to get the 4K Blu-ray one because it has more features and everything. And unlike the Blu-ray, it actually has the film's director's cut, as it says right here, the extended director's cut. Yeah, the Blu-ray didn't have that. It had the unrated cut, which was not the same as the director's cut because it was technically still shorter and everything by 10 minutes, I think. And this one added more and everything from 10 to 20, I think. Pretty cool design, pretty good cover and everything, especially from the front. It looks pretty cool. But it looks more. But you can see it says 4K, but don't worry. If you plan on getting it, it does have a Blu-ray right here, so you don't have to worry about writing it was only a 4K release because it's a 4K and Blu-ray. It just doesn't tell you like anywhere right here. This is made from Massacre Video, another up and coming production like I've never heard of before in my life, but it's pretty good. And if you're wondering if there's a difference between the 4K and special features and Blu-ray, the difference, the reason, in fact, they both have the same features on the same thing. That's why it says special features, and they're both on the 4K and the Blu-ray. So it's really no difference except for like I said, one's Blu-ray, one's 4K. Recommend. I got it for $20, which is good. From a seller and the seller from Massacre Video, like I said, pretty good. One of the few good Uwe Boll movies they ever made. Next to Rampage. I still have the same Dumb and Dumber one. Still like the movie. Haven't sold it off. Still funny. Same thing with National Lampoon Vacation. The first movie. Still like it. Still pretty good. Recommend still getting the Blu-ray because it's the only It's the only first one made, which I think it could be wrong. There's a 4K one, but I don't know if it has more features. And if it has the same, just like I said, get the Blu-ray right here. This one is also new. Also from David Zucker, and it has, of course, Trey and Matt from South Park Basketball. Pretty good movie and everything. Doesn't have too much features, but hey, what do you expect? It's something so generic from a feature. But, like I said, pretty good film. Recommend it, especially if you're a Zucker fan or you're a fan of Trey and Matt's work. Even if it's a film like this and everything like that, pretty good. I still haven't found Team America on Blu-ray. I still plan to get that, but hopefully it's not that much of a rare find. I hope it isn't anyway. I keep seeing the DVDs on sale, everything like that. This next one is a bit more of the biographies. I can see, as like I said, has less because I decided to get more biographies about important people I like and actually care about instead of just other stuff. Really, like all the politician ones are gone, and the presidents are gone. I still want to get that Lincoln one back though because I like that. Actually, I still like that movie, even though a lot of stuff really. But some of them I still have. Like I have this one's actually a documentary religious, so I recommend you get this because especially if you don't like believe in the whole religion thing, don't like it. I recommend getting this because this is one of the times when Bill Maher, yes, he's controversial now, not well liked now, but this was made back in 2008, back when he was just as respectable as George Carlin when it came to debunking, the whole religion thing and everything. And like I said, this is a good film and it made me laugh and everything. It's pretty funny. He doesn't talk down to anybody. He doesn't make anyone out with villains. He just does the whole what a person does, question everything and everything like that. But pretty good film. Recommend it. Like I said, it's only on DVD because it only released on DVD because like I said, the controversials about the religion thing. The fact that he was able to release it in theaters as long is amazing, and like I said, the fact there was any DVDs released at all is amazing. Got this for $3 actually on eBay, which is amazing. But like I said, it's pretty good. There, because I still have the program. It's still here. It's a pretty good movie. I recommend getting a DVD. But right now, you can actually see it free on YouTube Movies, and it's been on YouTube Movies for like 5 years, and it never got taken down, never got posted back up like most movies do. It stayed there and everything like that, which I think is fair because after all, DirecTV which was a TV show channel made this and everything like that. I don't even know if they're still around. I think they are, but they stopped making movies anymore. I think that's why this is allowed it back then because that's why it's still allowed on YouTube Movies because nobody's really touching it or copyrighting it. Not Studio can now, nobody because like I said, but it's still a good movie. This one I think is new. Never showed you guys this, which was the Citron of the Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Which, if you're wondering what's the difference between this one and the DVD one that was made in 2003, not that much. But as you can see, there's some features that are pretty much new and everything like that. But it's hard to tell because I can't tell which one's new and which one was in the DVD. It doesn't tell me. It doesn't say new on it, so it's probably somewhere here. As you see it, but as you can see, I got the Blu-ray and no 4K one, like unlike the Spinal Tap. It still looks good. Pretty good art from Ralph Steadman. Guy who helped art the book and everything. Good manual and everything. Yeah, pretty good. Recommend this movie, but like I said, I bought this expensive at Barnes and Nobles for $40, which is like still haunts me to this day because I had to pay that much. But like I said, I still have the movie. It's been 2 years after that. Still like it, still enjoy it. My only Terry Gilliam movie I own. I'm still planning to get his other one, but I have to get into that more. Like especially the 12 Monkeys, with which also has Bruce Willis, but it'll take me a while to get into. I have this new one, which is the Steelbook of Straight Outta Compton. If you're wondering, it has both the theatrical and the unrated cut, so has that, all the cast and everything like that. It's pretty good, as you can see right here. It's a pretty good film and everything. I recommend it, especially since it's February still, all the Black History Month and everything. Even Double Toaster recommend. It's my favorite channel. It's a pretty good film. It still has the famous trope for every biopic movie has, but that's only until like the second or third half of the movie. But the first half and everything, pretty good, pretty good. This one I finally found the Blu-ray for Steve Jobs. I've been trying to find that ever since I sold off DVD. Also sold off the DVD. Finally found it. Pretty good, but again, like I said, no difference between the bonus features. Fact, if you see, there's only one bonus feature right here. And the DVD had the same one. It's not really not different. But thankfully, like I said, Blu-ray, it looks better, sounds better. I still recommend the movie, even though I'm not a big fan of Apple or Steve Jobs anymore, like I used to be back then. But I still recommend it as a good movie, very underrated Danny Boyle film. Because he hasn't made that much films aside from his 28 Days Later movie that actually just came out a year ago, I think. And then the new one with the Bone Temple, which I never saw either of them. Because I never saw the first movie either, so and like I said, unlike other zombie movies I like, 28 Days isn't technically a zombie movie, so it'll take me a while to get into that film. But like I said, I recommend this one, especially on Blu-ray. Pretty good. This one is actually very underrated. In fact, these two you'll see underrated because I actually wanted to make a video soon about a retrospective about the director Peter Landsman, because he's actually pretty interesting director, pretty interesting films. Because his first film was Parkland, which I had, but I think I sold that. And the second film was Concussion, but I don't count that film because he got pushed back from the NFL and he complied with it, which I think is like very a very dick thing to do. But hey, you have to make money somehow. But then he made this one from Mark Felt with Liam Neeson, and a pretty underrated film. Surprisingly, nobody talks about this and everything like that. And this one, which is really isn't directed by him, but is pretty much a Peter Lanzmann, everything but name, has the same things that his other films had, which is like a star-studded cast, very low budget, which was 10 million, but yet still authentic and everything. Had all pretty much all of his tropes from his films, and everything, which I think is amazing. I recommend both these films because these films nobody's talks about because they mostly talk about Parkland or Concussion because of that famous meme from Will Smith where he's like, "Tell the truth, tell the truth," all that stuff, that meme. People only talk about those two films because that one, But people should really, really see these. You should really see these. It's pretty good. I also was trying to finish with this one, but I heard that Peter Lanzmann he wanted to make a director's cut with this one because you can see it has a lot of deleted and extended scenes, but for some reason it's been almost 10 years since this movie came out and no cut exists yet. So who knows? Maybe he couldn't afford it to make a new one or anything like that. This one is like I said, pretty good. It has Ray Liotta, Ray Resnick, along with Andy Garcia, and you see Jeremy Renner, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, and all that stuff. Pretty good. Recommended. Like I said, it's not directed by him. It's directed by Hold on, let the camera focus for a bit. Yeah, by Michael Suest. I don't know how to pronounce it, but he directed it. But like I said, it's Peter Lanzmann, everything but name. He was the writer, producer, paid for it and everything. As they always has all his markings in it, aside from directing. Recommend that. This one, of course, is The Apprentice. If you're wondering if this is a bootleg copy, because I've heard that no Blu-ray was ever official release, but it turns out this technically is an official release, even though it kind of looks very generic looking. You can tell it's official release because it has a barcode on it, and if bootlegs don't have that and everything like that, and that should know that's not in the system. So, in fact, I got this on Amazon, where a place where they don't allow bootlegs on it. So the fact that I got it from Amazon tells you that this was technically an official one, but they're very bare bones because no features at all. DVD kind of looks very oddly cropped and everything, but you can tell it's Blu-ray because when I load it up in the Blu-ray system, it doesn't say BDR, because which is normally means that that's when it's a bootleg because it says if it says DVD-R or BDR, that's when you know it's a bootleg. But this one just says BD, so this is an official thing. So if you don't want to get the bootleg version, I think you should just buy it on Amazon because they only sell the official one right here. I'm pretty sure the EV one does theirs too, but I keep finding more bootlegs there than the official one. And again, I love this movie, especially with the controversial topic as Trump and everything. But like I said, pretty good movie, pretty good casting from Jeremy Strong and Sebastian Stan. Pretty great, not top notch. I like it. Reminds me a lot of Scarface, I'll tell you that. Speaking of gangsters, here's the Gotti movie. Yeah, to anybody who knows, this is technically a piece of shit. Why do you have this? Because, it's funny. Yeah, it's like the funniest film I've ever seen and everything. Especially how poorly made it was. You could tell the guy who directed this, who played E from Entourage, he wanted to make his gangster movie like Goodfellas or Casino, but he failed miserably at that. Like awful like that. And it's funny to see it and everything. And the reason why I recommend it on Blu-ray is because if you try finding on some streaming services that isn't Amazon, you're gonna get a different cut of the movie and everything like that. Because if you saw the Double Toasted video, he mentions that there was a sneaky cut of the film on Blu-ray services and everything like that, especially if you bought it there. And he's right because I've seen the alternate cut, and trust me, it's not as famous or or in this case infamous as the original cut. So the only way I recommend you seeing the original cut is either through Amazon Prime or get the Blu-ray or DVD right here. And of course, what's the difference between that cut and this cut? Well, it's because, like I said, some songs are gone, the Pitbull songs are gone. We get weird alternate takes, which sounds weird, especially with the weird audio noise of which sounds weird. Like I've heard it, especially when I'm listening to my headphones, you can tell the difference and everything like that. It's weird. So yeah, if you don't want to go through that, just like I said, get the Blu-ray or get it, watch it or buy it on Amazon Prime because that's one of the few streaming services that has the theatrical version, which makes sense. Here we have more miscellaneous movies, and you can sell. It's a bit more higher than the other ones because I've collected more of them. Of course, like I said, going back to gangsters, I have the Scarface Platinum Edition. I think I showed this last time. But yeah, I still have it. I still recommend it because it's the one with the most bonus features. And like I said, the Blu-rays I heard are notoriously bad for having weird audio glitches, weird coloring that doesn't match the film and everything like that, and desyncing issues. Although I keep hearing the 4K and Blu-ray re-releases were better, so I have to take the word on it because like I said, I haven't seen the film, haven't seen it, or haven't bought it because they're expensive. But as you can see, same features from the last one, from the 2 disc collection, from the anniversary collection. You know, they add the new, which is the video game stuff. Because like I said, I told you about that. Because this was released the same year the video game came out, so I still recommend this one. It's the greatest edition out of all the other ones. I have Duel. Still have this film. Pretty good. Still a great film. I like. Like I said, for a first film by Steven Spielberg, the greatest. Still great. Recommend that. Here I have one of his another new ones that they took him on the map, which is Jaws. I think this is the 50th anniversary collection I bought last year. This one I don't regret getting because like I said, 50 years and everything is pretty good. I recommend buying it because I think I bought this at Walmart for like maybe $30, but I think I got it for 25 because it was on sale and everything. And it was the last one left, and it's a good thing I got it because like I said, it's pretty good steelbook design, pretty well drawn right here, pretty pretty great film and everything. Has the 4K, has the and it has the documentary that comes in its own disc. Pretty good. Recommend it. I love the film, everything like that. I don't know if I'm planning on getting it over Spielberg's other movies, but who knows. I still have his Indiana Jones ones. That one I still have, but aside from that, that's all I own really. I might see that new movie that's coming out, Disclosure Day, which is it's another new alien film. But who knows if it's good? If it's any good, I'll probably still watch it. Probably won't. I still have the other Stanley Kubrick one, the Full Metal Jacket. Still a pretty good film. I still like it better than Apocalypse Now, which you can tell I don't have anymore because, like I said, ever since, well, I just don't have it anymore. I'll tell you later, but but I have him. It's better than Apocalypse Now, better than Platoon in my opinion. I call it the ultimate Vietnam movie, unlike what Francis Ford Coppola said about his film. This is the ultimate one, not Apocalypse Now, but still. But as for you saying, why I don't want to have any of Francis Ford Coppola's movies anymore, which I did back then, let's just say if I ever make reviews, you're going to see a new standard of what I'm making about reviews, and one of the standards would be I refuse to make review of any film made by a controversial director in it. The reason why Francis Ford Coppola, because everybody knows about him and Victor Salva and everything like that, and I refuse to do it because of that. And people say, oh, that's it. But then there's also that whole thing of Megalopolis having we end up touching women inappropriately and everything. And of course, that movie was a piece of shit, even if it is infamous. And no doubt I probably will laugh at it if I ever saw it. But, I don't plan to. And like I said, there's other directors I won't touch from, like Roman Polanski and everything like that. John Landis. Especially that John Landis one, especially that one. Because he actually murdered 3 people and everything like that. And he doesn't feel remotely sorry. And then the fact that, going back to Spielberg, I'm glad he broke off the relationship with him because, he did the right move by doing that because you've seen the famous quote that, even with the film that you like so much, you should not always, like he said, no film was worth people's lives and everything like that. And, directors should have a responsibility saying cut and everything, especially when something bad's going to happen. Film set accident wise and everything, yeah. But yeah, that's that. That's why I don't have many movies from many directors, and if I do, it's because I didn't have anything as controversial yet. You know what I mean? Which is why here's my whole entire Martin Scorsese movie collection right here. Hold on. Not my entire collection. Yeah, I still plan to get more movies, but this is the ones I have so far. From all the way from his first movie, Taxi Driver, all the way to not his latest film, but his latest film I had, which is Irishman. Exactly. I like this movie and everything. I just recently got this not too long ago because, like I said, I don't regret this one. I recommend you get this version of Taxi Driver on Blu-ray because it has the most features and everything like that. It has the most coolest design ever, especially with this opening flap and everything, showing everything as you can see right here. And if you open up this thing right here, which I don't know if I should do it right now, but you can see it has posters and everything that haven't been opened yet. I didn't open them yet. As you can tell, they're still in the silicone wrap, so that's cool. Other stuff in here, I think. Hold on. No, wait. Yeah, that's it, actually. Aside from that, I recommend getting this one because, like I said, it's one of the most features and everything. It has this cool looking design. It's not that expensive to get, really. I got this for like $15, really. Pretty good. Looks cool, like looking. because I like this film. Still somehow still stands today, which is kind of scary. But hey, in today's internet world, that happens. This one I recommend also because even despite its controversies and the fact that, like I said, I don't believe in everything like that, still I still recommend this film as a great experience. And yeah, you'll like it, even if you don't believe or not. It's still like a great movie to watch. The book is just equally as great. Wonderful is the greatest in this film and everything like that. Yeah, I recommend this one because the DVDs are very bare bones. There's no other Blu-rays besides this one because, like I say, religious extremist groups keep trying to bar this film from ever being released. I mean, back in the 80s, he tried getting barred. Blockbuster refused to even release it back then. And Blockbuster released every movie, but not this one. And like I said, if you buy it the DVDs, they're kind of very generic, and they're kind of like done in a hurry by Universal, everything like that. So I recommend getting the Citrion collection because that's the one with the most features, along with the best quality and everything. It's pretty good. But like I said, if you don't believe it, if you still don't like it, even if it is a fictional book, even though the Bible itself is fictional, but this is all fictional. But if you still don't want to do that and everything, I can understand. So, but still a great movie, underrated one. This is of course his famous one of all, Goodfellas. I have the 20th anniversary on Blu-ray. It's booklet. There's no difference between this one and the generic Blu-rays that were made long ago. In fact, I tried looking for a Citroen collection, but surprisingly, never one was made. Despite it would be more than how long? Like 30 years ago, 30 years now. But yet nothing came. Not even the 4K ones have the same ones. The only thing difference this one has features more is a bonus DVD disc. So I show you right here. Not this one. This one right here. Public Enemies. Very good documentary I heard. Aside from that, it has the same bonus features that it has right here. It's 3. That's it, really. And I heard like I said, the generic Blu-rays have the same features, so there's really no difference. So hopefully Citroen will make a great collection of the film. We can really enjoy it, especially now, everything. Pretty good. I even have this other one that nobody talks about because people say it's too much like Goodfellas, which is Casino. This one, of course, I got from the 30th anniversary, and again, the same thing as the Jaws one. It's a steelbook. Pretty rare cover art, though. Looks weird. I'll tell you that, especially when you're looking at Shannon, like looking at Sharon Stone's character. She looks weird that way, but still. As it, I have it on Blu-ray and 4K. The Blu-ray's in the Blu-ray player. Got it on Blu-ray not too long ago. I think I got it for. I think it was another birthday present of mine. I got it for. I don't know how long. I bought it for like. No idea. Forgot. I think it was $40 because this is a recent release. I think. Could be wrong, but I think it was a recent release. Yeah, because it was released this last year. Because like I said, it was the 30th anniversary, 1995. 2025. I recommend it. Do I recommend the Steelbook? Like I said, if you don't want to pay that much for it, get the average Blu-ray and everything. I think it has the same features, although I could be wrong. Because there's only these features, and I don't know if the average Blu-rays has it. Could be wrong. But if they still have it, I recommend just getting the Blu-rays. Everything, great movie, very underrated. I love it. Very love it. I love it more than Goodfellas. That's how much I like it. Speaking of which, there's Irishman, his last ever gangster movie he was ever gonna make. There's other movies I want to get on Blu-ray, which is The Aviator, which is one of them. I still want to get the other film he made of a gangster, The Departed, and everything like that. And aside from that, I think that's it. There could be more movies. I still can't get the Killers of the Flower Moon because, like I said, it was only released physically out there in Region 2 because Apple TV said no release on Blu-ray DVD, but because the exception he wanted to make in the theaters and everything like that, but it sucks and everything. But aside from that, this is like I said, this is why I say this is the most recent movie I have on Blu-ray because I still want to get Killers of the Flower Moon, but it's hard to find a good bootleg version of it because, well, let's just say I actually got one. It was from China, and that was my biggest mistake. Don't ever get it from China because what I got from China was like horrible subtitling. It was bad, very very bad. But this release is also Citrion collected. I think the reason why, but if you wonder if this is a Netflix only, like kind of like the Killers of Flowers, this one got released because I think because He made an exclusive deal with Citron to release it and everything like that. And Citron was the one mass releasing it on DVD and Blu-ray and everything like that. You can still find them easily online. Yeah, they weren't that hard to find, which goes to show you that Netflix doesn't care at all. And unlike Killers of the Flower Moon, Netflix didn't want him to release it worldwide, but it was still in limited theaters. But, that's a whole other can of worms right there. Still love it though. This one is also new. Wake and Fright. Again, a lot like the Postal one. This is also made by another company, an obscure company called Umbrella, and everything. And if you're looking at the rating and you're worried that this is a region 2, it's not a region 2. I thought it was originally, but no, it's not. It's a 4K Blu-ray release, kind of like the Postal one. I recommend you get this other than the Blu-ray one, because you get the Blu-ray one, it's so expensive. That's why I got this one instead, because even though it was $60, I'd rather pay $60 for this than $300 for the Blu-ray collection that was released 10 years ago and everything. But yeah, I recommend just getting this one instead, because it has the same features as the Blu-ray one. It has the same 2011 features and everything. I can't really get it out right now because I don't know who designed this, but it's like you can't get this out very easily because I have to grab it and everything like that. But trust me when I say it has a lot of bonus features. As you see right here, this is like a lot of bonus features. That's what I'm saying. This one I reckon you get this one because it has the most features. This is the most cut that was well done, both Blu-ray and 4K wise. Yeah, it's the best. Like I said, get this one instead of just waiting around for the Blu-ray one to the lower prices, because it's never gonna. Because like I said, it released back in 2009, at least, and kind of like the Looney Tunes one, it's gonna get more rare as it goes by. So we're just finding this one. Remember, if as long as it says it's from the first region, not Australia, you'll be good, because it plays on my Blu-ray well, despite looking like it doesn't. It does, because I think it says right here. It says the NTSC is here, I think. I don't know if it's here or not. Well, trust me, it is. It plays well. I recommend the film and everything. Even though if you don't like the idea of like seeing kangaroo shot, but trust me, it actually mixes well with the plot and everything. Even though some people says it doesn't, it does to me. This one I think I didn't show you originally, but this is Falling Down. Again, also with Robert Duvall. Very Mysteries, another good film he was in. Again, this is also a digital book and everything like that. Again, no difference between this one and the average Blu-ray I heard. Although I think it has two features that were featured that were only on this one. Could be wrong. And I don't know why. And the reason why I don't know, because unlike the other ones I showed you, this one doesn't have the back cover, unlike the Goodfellas one, which doesn't say what features it has. That's why it only has this image right here. So yeah, I don't know anyway. So like I said, I don't know if the features are the same as the average Blu-rays, but I recommend it because... Well, I don't recommend this because I heard this thing is getting more rare, because this is like the only current Blu-rays aside from the average ones, which is just average at best. So who knows? And yeah, because I bought this for $30 at most. I still like the film, but I wouldn't recommend you buying that much for it, especially if you just want to just see the movie or something like that. This one was the last one. This one I managed to find thankfully for cheap, which is of course Once Upon a Time in America, and anybody who knows about this film knows the things that's rare to get. But the reason why this one was rare to get, because like I said, this is not the average theatrical cut. It says right here. Once it starts focusing right here, it says the extended director's cut. That's what makes the special a bit more rare, because especially on Blu-ray, it's a bit more rare because it's Blu-ray. Of course it is. The DVDs are a bit more easy to get and everything, but I bought this for $40, but that was technically cheap compared to the other prices, which was nearly $100. Because I recommend you get the extended director's cut on Blu-ray or DVD, which one you want, because as far as we know, it only has, as far as anybody has found, the extended cut of the film, not the 6-hour one, but it's still 4 hours. So I still recommend it. It's a good movie, a good time. It's abrasive, not afraid, be forward and everything like that. And yeah, like I said, pretty good film, very good film. It made me very interested in the Sergio Leone films, which I don't know if I'll buy it, anything like that, because the Western movies for me are a bit mixed. The only Western movie I've ever bought that I sadly don't have, because I said I sold it off a few months ago, because like I said, money, which was Unforgiven, which was by Clint Eastwood. I kind of regret selling that away, but at the same time, if there's a digibook of the same thing, I probably will get that later. Everything like that, because that was a good Western movie. That one was a good one. Of course, he did it in honor of Sergio, and of course, making his career and everything like that. But yeah, as you can see, there's my whole collection. Well, I guess you could say my Redux collection of my movies so far. And if you're wondering if I'm going to tackle the other ones from right here, probably will soon. But I only want to do this one somewhere because to show you how much especially how much I taste in movies and how much I've changed recently. Nothing else has changed. You can see right here, more posters, same ones I've showed you. Recent ones like this one, George Carlin and Nico right there, and then there's these, everything like that. But aside from that, nothing changed. The Star Wars one right here, I don't have the second or third one because they're not as iconic as the first one, especially with that shadow and everything like that. Aside from that, nothing changed, and I got more comics that I'll show you, like I said, later in another video. I'm now collecting more comics now, everything like that. Just I still have to find them cheaply and everything like that, because like I said, it's still like a lot. Like I said, but aside from that, nothing has changed. I still have the same collections. I got less books now. I'll tell you that. Yeah, and I think I'll show you actually right here. My book collection that I used to show you, it's all gone now. Like it's all gone. I sold out most of the books because, like I said, I stopped reading books from every politician, especially the other ones I have. I only have a few ones like the Mark Felt one. I got this Mark Felt one from the Mark Felt movie I showed you, which is actually based on this book. So I recommend getting this book. I bought it for $5. It's a pretty good read. Especially it goes into detail what he did during when he was Deep Throat. I got these ones, which is new. Got this. Walt Disney one was the only biography book I have. That or Jacked. And of course I have both versions of Fear and Loathing out of Vegas. Which, why do I have both versions? Because one of them is a graphic novel adaptation drawn by Troy Little. Pretty good read. Although it's getting rare to find. I managed to find this for $30, but the reason why it was $30 because as you can see of this damage right here. So, I don't recommend getting it because, like I said, it's pretty rare to find something like this. It's the book. So I have the Beavis and Butthead collection. And if you look closely when I shift my pan down, my video game collection changed after so many years. I'm going to brief showing you, but I'll show you in detail in another video later. It's changed a bit. I still have the same games, but some of them, like I said, sold them off too. Same thing with the movies. I have different ones too, right here. So like I said, I'll go into detail later. These two or anything like that. Yep. Like I said, my taste and everything changed. Well, not my taste changed, but my wallet has changed. I'll tell you that. It's just a bag of books I haven't been to sell. But aside from that, yeah, hope you guys had a great new year in last month. And I'm still keeping my resolution, still keeping it up, which is good because I've been saving a lot more money now. Whether if I have enough money to save up to get my do gameplay reviews and all that, I probably won't. Who knows? If you guys don't like it, maybe I'll just do like you see right here, film it like this and play. But like I said, it'll be kind of hard because I'm using my other hand right now. And if I stand still on top of a table or something, I have to find a table that's either this high or this low and everything like that. And I don't want to be like that, but who knows? If I do go and I go retro, I'll probably go that much retro if I go that retro if you want me to. Aside from that, nothing else has changed. Nothing else. So yeah, I'll go into detail about my collection on the bookcase some other time when I have the time. And yeah, I think that's it. So yeah, this is how much has changed for me. Hopefully you guys will have hopefully you guys will improve your resolutions than my mind did. So yeah, that's it. So yeah, this is game dude over and out, and hey, game on.